One of the companies on the hunt for a vaccine to stop the coronavirus in its tracks is Sanofi. But there are a lot of questions about how effective it can be and when it can be ready. Tirrell tried to get some answers when she spoke with the company's head of vaccines today.
That's right. Well, if developing a vaccine, of course, is a long, difficult and expensive process. So I asked David Loew, head of Sanofi's vaccines unit, how the company made the decision to enter this race.
Clearly, when you observe now the epidemiology of the coronavirus, we were actually quite impressed to see that the increase in incidence continues despite the Chinese government having clamped down pretty radically and taken measures to limit the movement of people. And so that gave us pause because we felt that once people come back to work, we could potentially see that it's going to continue to spread.
Tell us a little bit about what that timeline looks like.
So, when you prepare a pandemic vaccine, of course, timelines are very different than what you have normally when you develop a vaccine, because when a pandemic hits, regulators make efforts to collaborate with the vaccine producer to find ways how to accelerate those timelines. So in the case of corona, what we believe is that in about 6 months, we can have a candidate that we can have in preclinical testing, and in about 1 year, we can go into humans. And from there, we will have to, of course, see what happens to the epidemiology of the coronavirus distribution. Is it going to continue to rise very sharply, or is it going to start to stall and then perhaps decrease when we come into warmer months? Because we have seen with SARS, for example, that when it became warmer, the virus disappeared.
How do you protect against the potential for the virus mutating? How do you make sure that your vaccine will work even if the virus changes over time?
Well, that's a very interesting question because, when you think about the flu vaccine, for example, flu strains change very much. Coronavirus, we know, do not change that much. And you have, seen coronavirus floating around for a very long time, and it has been relatively innocent virus. What we have now is a new phenomenon where we seem to have a new strain that has become much more jumping from, one human to the other and has a higher mortality than what we have seen with other coronaviruses. So it's a new phenomenon, and we don't know yet if this phenomenon is going to go away or perhaps develop into a pandemic or perhaps become seasonal. So it's too early to really tell. We need to learn more about the virus. I think, the world is sitting in the same boat on this one, because if this coronavirus would go pandemic, we all will have to stand together in terms of developing new vaccines.
And though Sanofi says it's got a head start because of previous work on a SARS vaccine, Loew says it'll still be likely 3 to 4 years before a vaccine could be licensed for broad use. And that's if the company's work is successful and if this virus is with us that long, Will.